Hello everyone and welcome back to The Farmer Was Replaced. And today we are officially going to continue on with the game and do some more programming and see what we can unlock. And essentially what I want to do next is when we look at the unlocks, I want to look at pumpkins and I want to do that. So we'll go through that together, and because essentially if I want to expand I need pumpkins. And if I want to unlock the utilities as well, I need pumpkins. Okay, sunflowers we'll probably do next episode, most likely. Well, I'm not sure yet. But essentially we want to look at pumpkins. And first off, I want to apologize for not uploading for a while. I have been super busy with work. And so essentially I'm back. I'm not gonna upload as frequently still, but I am going to try and upload wherever I can. Work is still quite busy, and trying to balance the two with YouTube and work is proving to be a little bit more difficult. But hey, we're back, let's get to it. Okay, so essentially let's unlock pumpkins, but first we have, if I'm not mistaken, last episode we have upgraded our did like a tree carrot farm, and essentially we planted trees in the uneven spaces, or even and uneven spaces, because essentially when trees grow they grow faster with not being right next to each other. So this way we get wood and we get carrots together. So if we run this, it's basically planting our trees, it's also watering our garden so they grow faster basically. And so now we can see it's quite quick. That is awesome. Okay, so let's pause that for a second because we do have quite a bit of resources. And essentially, we also have kind of like a fallback because we buy carrot seeds and that's costing us hay. So essentially, if that goes less than a certain amount, it's going to start growing hay, and then will be basically, well, it will then gather hay up to a certain point, and it should start planting carrots again soon. A 1500, so let's just double check that to make sure it actually gets to that. We're almost to 1.5, and there we go. Yeah, so it swapped over back to carrots. Okay, so we do have a fallback, and essentially because we need hay for carrot seeds, and we are constantly getting wood, so because of the trade cost. So yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, let's move back to 0, and essentially well, we can upgrade the speed as well. How much is that going to cost us? Okay, cool. So now we can't upgrade our speed anymore because we need like lightning or power. I'm not sure. It's probably going to be from like sunflowers. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure, but that's our speed at the moment. We can't expand either because we need pumpkins. So let's unlock pumpkins and let's have a look. Okay, so pumpkins. Pumpkins grow like carrots on tilled soil. They require pumpkin seeds to be planted, which cost 1 carrot each. When all the pumpkins in the field are fully grown, they grow together to form a giant pumpkin. The yield of a giant pumpkin is cubed side length of the pumpkin. So a 2x2 pumpkin yields 2x2x2, or 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 equals 8 pumpkins instead of 4. Okay, so basically 4 pumpkins like this, that's 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there, would give us technically 4 pumpkins. But if all 4 of them grow together and like finishes, they will make 1 big pumpkin, and that will give us 8 pumpkins instead. A 3x3, so this size over here, would give us 27 pumpkins, and a 4x4, so yeah, so this, if we have a pumpkin the full size here, it will give us 64 pumpkins instead of 16, and then so on and so forth. Okay, It's a good idea to get the pumpkins as big as possible before harvesting. The problem is that about 1 in 5 pumpkins will die before they grow up. This means that even if you plant a pumpkin on every tile in a square, one of the pumpkins may die and prevent the mega pumpkin from growing. A pumpkin that dies will simply disappear, so you can plant a new one. Okay. So whenever we plant one down the line will die. So then basically it will prevent the whole thing from growing fully. That is interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to move this to the side here. And essentially going to add a new class. And essentially, let's just get our movement done first. So, our movement is going to be... we'll grab this one because we're going to need that. Going to move to start. So straight off the bat. And then we'll do the while true. Or infinite loop, and then basically we are gonna need, I think, this. Let's tap that, and so that will give us, yes, okay, so that's our movement class. Okay, perfect. Let's move back to 0, 0. Now what we want to do is essentially let's just make sure that if get entity type does not equal to entities dot pumpkin, then harvest. This is just for us to just harvest everything straight off the bat. There we go. Okay. So we can start with a clean slate. So I'm just going to remove that for now. We'll add it back in if required. Since pumpkins are also on tilled soil, I'm assuming we can water them as well. Okay, so how are we going to do this? If we get the world size, because essentially we need to make sure that each and every spot has a pumpkin in it. So first off, what we'll do is we'll say world size, we'll create a variable, equals get world size multiplied by get world size. So that will give us the full world size, so basically 4 by 4, which is basically 16. Yeah, 16? Yeah, 16. Okay, cool. So that will give us the world size, which is then in turn 16. And essentially, let's just change this to pumpkin farm. Okay. And yeah, the whole idea is that we need to plant just pumpkins. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, how are we going to do this? Because what we need to do is we need to check how many pumpkins are available for us to do. So we need to kind of count how many pumpkins we have. So essentially, because we can't just go and harvest, we need to make sure that if we do harvest them, then we want to harvest one big one. But first off, let's do this. Let's do another class, and we'll say plant pumpkin. And this is going to be similar to what we have here for the plant carrot class. So let's just make this plant pumpkin class. And essentially, we'll define a function called plant pumpkin. And essentially what that needs to do is we need pumpkin seeds. So what we need to do as well is say, okay, cool, because what we might what we might not want to do, because it's going to have to plant over and over again as well. So if the get entity type is equal to none, that's basically because, for instance, if a pumpkin has died, then we need to plant it again. So then if it is none, we want to plant entities dot pumpkin. There we go. But in order to plant pumpkins, we need seeds. So if the number of items, no, not this, there we go. If number of items of items dot pumpkin seed is, what would be the best thing here? Because we're gonna need, well, it's gonna trade over and over and over again, so that's fine. If it is less than, for example, let's do world size, because I think I should be able to access this from here. So if it is less than world size, then trade for items dot pumpkin seed for the world world size, and that will give us that amount of seeds on each trade. So that's just a, I think I unlocked that. I can't remember if I can't remember if I unlocked it with you guys or not. It's been a while. But essentially the multi-trade has been unlocked. So basically trade multiple items at once. And what that allows us now to do is to pass in a number at the end here. So if world size is 16, it will give us 16 pumpkin seeds. And if we eventually expand, then basically it will then buy more pumpkin seeds. So now we have plant pumpkin method or function. We trade for seeds and then we plant the pumpkin. The only other thing I want to do is, before we plant, just want to say if get ground type is not equal to grounds dot soil, because we want soil, then basically tell it. There we go. Okay, so then here we can call plant pumpkin. Okay, let's see. So this is just gonna plant. It's gonna go over and over and over again and plant. So we will eventually get one big pumpkin. So let's double check that. Oops. There we go. Let's do that. See, there's pumpkins that dies. There we go. And now we have one big pumpkin. Okay. So if we just call harvest now, we get 64 pumpkins. Okay, perfect. So let's move back to 0, 0. Now we need to make sure we know how many there are. So essentially what we want to do is we want to count. So let's say total pumpkins equals 0. Okay, so we are going to count each block, and if the entity type is harvestable for like a pumpkin, then we increase that number. And once that number is the same as the world size, then it means we have one big pumpkin. And because essentially we don't have a way, if we're here, we don't have a way to know that or that spot or that spot or that spot is a open spot. We have to go over it. So I don't think there's much that we can do about that. And essentially what we can then do is, okay, cool. So before we plant, we check if we can harvest, then total pumpkins plus equal to 1. Okay, so essentially what this does, if you guys can't remember, is if we do total pumpkins equals total pumpkins plus 1. So we'll take whatever value is in there, plus 1, and set it onto that. So if that's 0, it's going to say, okay, cool, 0 plus 1 equals 1. The next one, it will be 1 plus 1 equals 2, so on and so forth. Now, we can make this shorter just by saying plus equal to 1. And essentially, it will do that whole line that I had previously, but just in a shorter way. So now we are going to count the total pumpkins. But we are going to do multiple turns here. And essentially, it's very important for us to reset it, because essentially, if we get to this point here, because essentially if we do this now, it's going to go up, down, and then go back here. And then same thing over and over and over again. And essentially, it's going to keep on counting. And we don't want that, because we want to make sure that we get a total size of this grid, not over like cumulative. When we reset, we want to get 16 pumpkins. So essentially what we can do is, if we say here, if the get position X equal to 0 and get position Y is equal to 0, because that is 0, 0. If that's the case, then set total pumpkins equal to 0. So that will then make sure that whenever we land in this spot, it will reset the counter, so we can make sure that we have 16 pumpkins. And then what is next? Next is we need to harvest. Yes, we need to harvest. And essentially, I think if we put it here, let's see, we accumulate and then we're gonna plant, but yeah, we want to do it before planting, because essentially, yes, so if the total pumpkins, did I even spell pumpkin right? Pumpkin, yes, such a weird word. But don't mind me. If the total pumpkins is equal to world size, world size. What? I can't type today. If it is equal to the world size, then harvest. So then it's gonna get back to this point. It's gonna get to this point. If it is 16, then it's gonna harvest and it's gonna go back here, reset the counter, and then start planting again. And the only thing I think that is required still is, if we have a look here, yeah, we're not doing the grass thing, that's fine. We kind of have 4,000 water tanks, so I don't think we're going to need more water tanks. Yeah, because here we have 4,000 water tanks. So that's fine. We do still have the tree carrot farm, that's perfectly fine, okay, as well. All that we do need is the watering. So, and we want to water before we move. Okay, so that is, I hope this works. Well, let's see. So let's plant. Okay, there we go. Okay, counting, there we go. And it is wasting a bit of time, because if it doesn't get to 16, then it will do another round, but that's fine. The speed of the drone makes it perfectly fine. Okay, and now we're actually getting pumpkins. There we go. Yep, I think this is reasonable. I'm not sure if there's anything more I could do, because the thing is, even if, like, for example, one of these dies, we don't know that unless we go over it. So unless if you guys maybe have a suggestion, then let me know. I can't see another way. But yeah, let me know if you have a better suggestion. So if you do have, then cool. Then I will have a look at that. But otherwise, this is pumpkins. And essentially what we can do now, if we move this just slightly up, we can go to unlocks. We can upgrade our pumpkins as well to give us more, increases the yield of pumpkins and the cost of pumpkin seeds. Okay, so the cost of pumpkin seeds are also going up. Interesting. But we can now expand. And this is now where we're going to have a problem, I think. Yes, because now we end up there instead of there. But if we expand again, it should now be even. I think. So let's double check. There we go, one big one, and Bob's your uncle. So if we just do that, reset it to 0. There we go. And one big pumpkin. There we go. Perfect. And another big pumpkin. There we go. Okay, cool. So this works. We can probably make it a little bit better a little bit later, but essentially for now, this kind of works the way I want it to. I want to expand again, but essentially, perhaps if we do a harvest, or if we get to, how are we gonna do that? Because I kind of want to support both ways if we have an even and uneven world size, because that's the only problem now. But let's increase our yield. So we'll increase our yield for pumpkins quite a bit. Here we go. And now we should get a ton more pumpkins. There we go. And let's expand. Are we gonna have enough for... Oh no. Okay, that was a mistake. Let's see. Because now we end there. But it should still be fine. It should still work, I think. Yes, it still works. It's just not super great. It's a bit weird. Do one last one there. And there we go. Okay, and now I can expand again. Perfect. Ah, that's also probably why, yes. So that's why the tilling here is also quite important, because each time you expand, it resets the ground. But yeah, now it takes a little bit more. So now we have 2,000 pumpkins, almost 6,000. So we almost got 4,000 pumpkins from just this one big thing. So yeah, okay, cool. What else is there that we can do? Double check this. Some of these pumpkins are, oh yeah, see it I harvested that one. Yeah, this is not right. There we go. There we go. Okay, now it shouldn't harvest randomly again. Although we need to upgrade our speed again. That would be nice. Okay. But yeah, quick little episode actually. So 25 minutes or there around, plus minus. But that is pumpkins. Essentially, utilities will probably use this a little bit later. I'll unlock it and I'll let you guys know what this is all about. So if we look at info, where was it? What? Utilities. Yeah, so unlocks the min, max, absolute, and random functions. And essentially we don't need them at this point of time. We'll probably end up using them a little bit later, but min-max basically just gives you the minimum and maximum amount of a value, and or of two values. So if we double check, not this one, if we double check here, yeah, so out of an array, or just like numbers, we can basically get the minimum amount, the maximum amount, or the absolute amount. So absolute is abs, so computes the absolute value of a number, returns number if number is positive, minus number otherwise. Takes the comparisons operators to execute. So example usage, absolute minus 69. So it returns a number if the number is positive and negative number otherwise. So it just basically returns you the absolute number, basically. Then we have the random function. Where is it? Random. Am I blind? Probably. Yeah, here, random. So samples a random number between 0 inclusive and 1 exclusive. So returns a random number, takes the time of 1 operations to execute. Example usage, random element. So basically random times the length of the list, gives you the index, and then basically gets you from the list. Okay. So that's utilities. Anything else that we can have unlocked? We can unlock lists. So use lists to store lots of values. We'll probably unlock that if needed in the next episode. Fertilizer grows plants instantly. Okay. But essentially what I think we'll probably do, we're running out of carrots, so I'll probably stop this and basically get into our carrot farm again, farm some resources. But essentially in the next episode, we'll definitely be looking at the sunflowers. And I want to have a look at that. So sunflowers and power. Because, yeah, see, sunflowers and power. So basically to upgrade our speed again, we need power. So I think that is going to be our next one. But I want to really get to mazes as well. And we can unlock that right now. But essentially, I'm quite interested in sunflowers as well. So yeah, we'll probably get to sunflowers, do sunflowers, we'll do mazes then, and then we'll do cactus. And maybe then, yeah, dinosaurs. And then eventually get to down here. Okay, but yeah, guys, that is, yeah, our first episode in a while. And yeah, comment down below. Like I said, if, yeah, see, we run out of carrots, so we can't buy pumpkin seeds anymore. So essentially, if we just do tree carrot farm, there we go. Yeah, so if we gonna do a little bit more of this, well, I'm definitely gonna do a little bit more of this, but essentially, if you have another solution for the pumpkins, then let me know down below. And if you like this video, please feel free to leave a like as well. And yeah. Awesome, guys. If you're not subscribed, please feel free to subscribe to keep updated with the series. And yeah, on that note, guys, have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you in the next episode. Cheers.